So thanks to IKON that they have pulled such august people on this stage. So on my left is J Robotic founder, Mr. Mohan Krishna, and next to him is Narendra Tripathi. I know him a little more than Mohan. So he was in the army. We walked alongside, and he's also been alumni of IIT Kanpur. And next to him is CEO Endure Air co-founder Melu Ramakrishna. He is also IIT alumni. Then we have one of the old companies, Marut Drones, co-founder Prem Vishwanath. Then we have Madhi Reddy Hanuma Raviteja, founder Vyomic Drones. And the only lady on stage is Janaki Pulaparthi, founder Akin Analytics. So she drives more about analytics than being in drones. So we have about 2 hours, I think, which is a very long time for discussion. So I would request the audience to make it more interactive. I don't like the conversations to be formal. So I would like to keep it mostly informal. Firstly, I would give each of them about 10 minutes to speak about their companies and the topic that have been assigned to them. And then we will take almost an hour time for question answer and interaction. So before that, a little about drones. You have seen how this Op Sindoor had turned out. Mostly it is drone warfare. Of course, there have been lessons from Ukraine, you have lessons from Israel, you have lessons from Azerbaijan and Armenia. But nobody thought that it would become so much, so fast. So apart from that, there is also a civil disruption happening on drones in construction, surveying, mostly even the smart city projects who are making a traffic management also is happening through drones. And there are many other applications where drones are now coming into the prime, and maybe it is the right inflection point, I would say, for traction in the market and companies taking to next level, because the opportunities are widening and people are becoming more aware, governments are getting aligned. So I'll keep the conversations around business and the challenges in businesses. So firstly I will hand over to
Hello. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sir Colonel Jairam Garu, for the introduction. And yeah, so I'll just try to give a very brief introduction about ourselves and what we do actually. So I'm Mohan Krishna, and I'm co-founder for one of the organizations which is working in the robotics space as such, maybe not the drones directly. So it's been a decade and a half of journey for us. So we have been working in a couple of sectors like defense, industrial automation, and majorly maybe today the topic that was maybe provided to me was more on the educational robotics, where we were more or less kind of thought provokers in that space for the past 10 years. So yeah, so I think last decade and a half, we have seen lots of evolution in the technology in terms of where we started. I think, especially maybe if I spend some time on the defense projects that we have actually done, maybe 10 years back we started like developing research platforms for the young students to learn about robotics or doing something on that, and that's where we started a journey with R&D in defense. And we worked on maybe firing range simulators, and then eventually got into a little bit of drones, and then unmanned systems and autonomous systems, navigation stack. So this is how we have actually evolved our products, and we have developed a wide. And also maybe the gentleman on my left, Sri Lieutenant Colonel Narendra Tripathi, was one of the person who has actually started the idea of an autonomous robot that we have actually worked a couple of years back. So eventually I think this is what the experience that I can actually bring to the table, and maybe I'll share my own experience in terms of the realistic, in terms of what I see that where this industry is going and what kind of requirements that might have to be addressed by the young companies, or what opportunities might be available for young entrepreneurs from a person who has actually worked on ground for some time actually. So yeah, this was for introduction. Maybe I'll just give the mic to sir.
I'm Janki. I'm the founder of Akin Analytics. Before we start, I just want to check from you all, what is the definition of drones if it comes to your mind? Can I hear your responses? Like someone can. What's the what do you feel like when you hear about drone or something?
Vigilance, unmanned system.
Yeah, someone is saying vigilance.
Unmanned system. Drones in the civilian field, they are doing survey levels.
Okay.
Can be easily manual.
Even now, Jairam sir has told like drones plays crucial role in Operation Sindoor. So majority of people so far for drones is like either defense or surveying drones, or before that maybe it's a hobby drone, like let's say 5 years ago. But we started, I would say, this startup ideated in 4 years ago, where we thought, why can't we work on the data what drones is acquiring? Because data is the key part if you see the future. Hence, we started working on the data that was acquired by drones. That's how Akin Analytics has emerged. We majorly work on the image data that is acquired by drones, and we provide analytical decision making, accuracy and efficient time optimization for the legacy industries. If you see, legacy industries are the last industries where they adopt technology, rather any other industry. Suppose if you see banking systems, it has evolved from, paper-based banking to UPI today, it's global. Similarly, legacy industries are the ones where technology is not that updated. And if you see COVID-19, these are the major industries that has affected badly because they are human dependent. So to curb this, we started Akin Analytics, which helps legacy industries to take decision making easier. I can speak in the future. In the next coming hours, I'll pass on to Vyomik.
So I was expecting a podium, and I could actually present the complete slides. I have some around 20 odd slides. So kindly bear with me. The idea is not to give just a product line of my lineage, whatever I am doing. It is also about how the industry is going and what all things are actually happening on ground, and what are the challenges from the industry perspective. It is not just my own thoughts; it is the generic thought of the everybody who is sitting here. So I am actually representing the industry, and as a veteran, I am going to be speaking, not as a founder of a company. Next, please. So I'll be covering on all these my talk in these heads. Please go ahead. Next. See, the idea of drone industry has been very huge. There have been huge market composition which is happening in India across the globe also. And generally speaking, the overall $40 billion worth of market exists. And by 2030, CAGR of 12.3% is announced. So in India also, next please, there are huge projects and the incentive schemes which are offered by, next slide please, by the government of India, by respective ministries. There are a lot of schemes. There are many of the firms which are sitting here, they are beneficiaries of that, be it PLI scheme or the necessary funding by IDEX or similar projects. The idea is that government is supporting. The challenges of the defense drones are on day-to-day basis. If we refer to, and these platforms are big time, providing necessary help to the industry, to the startups who wants to grow. And talking about Aditi or IDEX challenges, DIS challenges, almost 3 to 50 crore grant is available. And many of the companies have got this grant. I am one of the beneficiaries myself. The overall idea of this slide being shown is that to request the investors also to come in the same quantum the way government is supporting. I have seen many companies who are already having government contracts at hand. They are, having grant of IDEX. They are having their valuation to multi-crores. Still, they are unable to find the right investor to them. So actually the forum which is here, they can actually see this part, that the drone industry is the future of the defense, and it has been actually confirmed with these recent developments in post Pahalgam and Op Sindoor as well. Next, please. Now, just a little on the drones, that actually drones are nothing new. They have been here for almost 100 years. In some form or other, if you go back to the lineage of World War I, II, even Cold War, all these times, some form of drone has already been there. Now, what we have seen as a drone has generally started somewhere around 2010. For most of the people who have seen 3 Idiots, they actually related to that first time they have seen a quadcopter there. But generally it came in picture when the miniaturization of electronics happened, and the small size drone came into existence in day-to-day life. So that is all about, and now we see variety of drone shows and swarm of drones and everything is now coming in, and there are artificial intelligence based drone swarms. I'm working in some of those, and I will cover in my subsequent slides also next to this. Now why the Indian defense requires drones. Now see, if you see Indian border situation, there is no country which is actually supporting you. And there are challenges from all across, be it from the eastern, western, northern sides. There are challenges from the defense perspective. We have huge long borders which needs to be maintained for surveillance and reconnaissance. And this reconnaissance cannot be human or by any typical sensors which are there on ground. We need to go for such technologies which are overwhelming. When I say there has to be huge number of drones which are positioned in layers as a swarm. That is what is the actual requirement is, and I think Government of India is working on that. And most of the people who are from the industry, they are on and off, they are going to Delhi and doing the things. So why drones are important, of course I have mentioned, and generally everybody knows that it is required for combat, for necessary decision making information which is there on ground, which is required for you to take decision at the right time. Any war cannot be just won by just putting some equipment or some weapons there. You have to take the right decision at the right time. That is how you will utilize those weapons and win the war. If you see in our case also, in the recent Op Sindoor also, yesterday Prime Minister of Pakistan said that no, they actually took the advantage of hitting us first, though we were planning, while we took a decision to hit them first. So that is how we won the war. And of course there are other requirements of using the drones for logistics and but as of now, what are the gaps? Gaps remains, major dependencies on imports. The semiconductor and major part of drones are still, outsourced from across the globe. And when it comes to Chinese parts, of course, they are a big no from the defense side, but they are of a variety of quality. So you cannot ensure a proper standardization in these parts. And because of this, limited customization can be done. You cannot do much of customization in the drones because of the limitation in the subsystems which are available. And of course, when we go for indigenization, what are the benefits? The benefits, of course, that we enhance our own national security. There is a growth in the overall ecosystem, and we have technological self-reliance. We are not dependent. Now there are many companies, the CEOs are sitting like Endure Air and teams. They are working very deeply in the indigenization of the complete drone technology. So we are not dependent on any other foreign player in that, because that is something which actually deviates the basic fundamental of it being used for defense. If the technology is from a foreign origin, anybody can actually spoof it or jam it. Then what is the use of the drone then at the time of the operations? That is important. Next, please. Just to give a broader perspective of what a drone is. In my opinion, actually it's a robot, and it is autonomously or a remote control thing, which you can actually place in air as compared to a robot on ground. It has its own components and modules, but when I say at the base layer, actually it's actually a matrix of multiple technologies. It is not just a single technology. Generally, we feel that it is aerodynamics and aeronautical engineering which will do drone tech. No, it is everything. You talk about the dynamics, the vibrations, even for the kamikaze drone, you need to have a payload which is explosive in nature. So you need to have the chemistry also understood, how it will actually work on ground, how it should be done. So when you are creating a team for a particular product, you have to take care of all those engineers also. When on ground, you have to develop some particular type of solution. The broader idea of the technology. Next, please. That's what is mentioned. All technologies are part of drones. Next, please. And these are the classifications which I have created. As per the DGCA guidelines, there are say these 5 classifications which are there on the left, which are size based. However, in my opinion, there are there are other 5 categories also, and any drone can actually be classified in these 6 parts, and then you can home on to what type of drone are you going to be using it, whether it is a civil usage or it's a defense usage. This has to be part of these 6 categories. Next, please. This is a small, short analysis I did for understanding by the industry that where is our strength and what all weaknesses do we have, and what for those weaknesses, how do we should work to overcome those. And if I talk about the weaknesses, the biggest one has been non-standardization. So if you have to create solutions, you have to have a complete inventory line for variety of subcomponents. If you are creating a bigger system, you have a different inventory line. You are creating a smaller system, kamikaze or a situational awareness drone, you have a complete line for that. So that is the biggest challenge for any, the experts in the industry, because if you have parts which are common to everything, then it will be very easier to actually manage that. And of course, because of the it being of foreign origin, the expertise is limited, because not for everything you are they are actually transferring the technology. And of course, then the overall developmental time is little bigger than what one imagines. Next, please. Now, many people have asked me what all, there are many very limited, roles where drones can actually be part of modern warfare. I totally go against that point. I feel that wherever a human can work, a drone can also work. So we have to actually design our solutions for requirement of the day. Actually, this is more pertaining to the defense fraternity. It is not meant for this. How you should be designing your drones, how you should be asking the RFPs, which actually aligns to any solution. Actually, why many? It can be any solution that you want to create. Whatever a soldier is doing on ground, be it a surveillance perspective, be it from the combat or operational perspective, putting a weapon and killing some adversary which is trying to cross the border, everything can be actually obtained by the drone. However, you have to design that based on what is your technical requirement, how the technology aligns to it, what is your budget, and what are features you want. Not every thing can be. Actually, it's a bargain game. Whatever you cannot have everything in same drone. You have to have that matrix right, where you can actually come up to that design and solution, where these kind of the optimization can be done on those major features for designing a drone. So that is about the designing the defense drones. Next, please. And whatever pictures you see, those drones, whatever you see in the background, are designed by me, by the way. So these are some of the problem statements that I figured out for civil and commercial applications. Of course, there is a huge work which is happening in agriculture. I am also in talks for multiple drone Didi projects. And there are multiple railways projects. Yesterday there was a very nice video where a drone is actually washing the engines and the bogies of railways. So there are going to be solutions. You need to actually design it and support the organizations. I'm working on an agriculture project. So what the professors are asking, that can you design a bird which can mimic eagle, so that the smaller birds which come to destroy the crop can run away. It is as simple. And they just want a figurine of the eagle with the sound of eagle. It is so simple a project. And it is very much achievable. So we have to actually come up with such solutions, and we engage with those industry and provide that. Be it defense or outside, it is immaterial. Next, please. So this is how I generally talk about how this design comes into picture from the field requirement. There is in the field there is a requirement of a particular type of drone. Now the field army does not understand technology. They just want a particular thing. Now when they want a particular thing, what is achievable, what is not achievable, firstly that has to be taught to them. So the field requirement becomes the scope of work, and then they becomes the tech specs, technical specifications. Before becoming the product, there are multiple trials which happen, then there are multiple R&D which happens, and there is a feedback loop which is always there. And here if you see, I have involved armed forces, the academic institutions, and the industry. So there is actually a triple helix model in place. This triple helix model is very, very important, because without which you may integrate a system and provide it, but you cannot provide without the academic backing, you cannot provide the right R&D to it, right effort to it, so that if there is a future scaling required or enhancement required, you cannot go about it if you have just done the integration part. So that is very, very important. Without the integration of these three institutions, it is very difficult to move ahead for the deployment of a necessary technology at the front side. I mean, when you're talking about at the grassroots level, in the defense, if a technology has to be deployed, it has to go through this route in a longer run. Next, please. And of course, there are challenges. If you see on the right side, I've taken it from one of the journals from MIT. Whatever drone manufacturing is happening across the globe, a major, rather maybe 80-90% of the chunk of the hardware is originated from China. So even we say that this should not be of Chinese origin, at the component level it will be. The semiconductors, the transistors, we don't have that kind of a ecosystem right now. So once that is there with us, we can actually start thinking on those lines. Yeah, what we can do is that at the chip level and above level, the layer wise if we go, the layers should be designed in India. That is what I am doing. The critical components, all those places where the adversary can try to jam our systems, those kind of systems should be designed in India, be compromised, and the information inherent to that will also get compromised. Next, please. So when I was telling you about the academic collaboration, so it is from the defense perspective. The IITs, the triple ITs, the DRDO, the industry, and the defense. These three makes the triple helix. And when we talk about this triple helix, we have to actually, the advantages of each domain can be passed on to the other. That is where it is very important. So, I mean, in silo, one can create a company and start giving solution to the problems on ground on defense. But without a backing of academia, I think it is not right to go ahead with that. So that is why this slide is there, and I have interacted in IIT Kanpur and in Aero India in multiple forums to give these solutions which have been developed through the help of academia and which are now gaining access in the defense. Next, please. Yeah, one more important thing which I missed out on that. So here when we design something, there is always a query by the industry that who will hold the PR, the IP, right? So we have to actually come up with a solution. We can have some portion with the academia. It can be a joint IPR. So the idea, if the solution is there, everybody gets benefited. We have to think a little broader than generally typical industrial thought process. Of course, you will be designing it, but there will be people who will be helping you out in doing so. There will be people who will be providing you the right forums where this can be launched. You cannot test a 20-kilometer drone in your premises. You just can't. You have to go to an army's field firing range. So if they are providing you that kind of environment, those places, they might as well have a joint IPR and move it. So next, please. Yeah. Now this is the typical framework which I had actually designed for the triple helix model, and this has been implemented by many firms also, that what all benefits each team is giving to each other, whatever the core competency they have, they keep it with them, and whatever they can offer it to other. So that is how larger perspective of Atmanirbhar Bharat can be achieved. While the government is providing you the budgets, the schemes, the policies, and the respective domain is providing their own expertise, and that is how we can reach a better India, a better Atmanirbhar Bharat. Next, please. Now these are some of the things which are now going in that indigenous category, and if we see, these are available on the internet also. So I picked up some of them, and all these things are now getting developed within India. Of course, as at semiconductor level, no, but at the chip level, yes, they are there, and they are providing very good results also. So that is how one should look at supporting these kind of items and taking it to next level. Of course, the idea is that these technologies, when integrated using the software of AI, swarming, and mission planning, they should bring us a newer platform altogether. Instead of just whatever industry anybody is working, currently they are using mission planner, QGCS. There are standard platforms. Are we going to a step above that? So that is the idea to show it here. Next, please. These are some of the testing and validation which is required. So yeah, of course, the wind tunnel facility is there only with IIT Kanpur. So I mean, yeah, one who desirous of testing the systems, there are ways and methods the department can help. And of course, before a system is finally tested on ranges, it has to be simulated and tested on simulation first. And of course, we can ensure the necessary QA certifications and all those existing certifications which are required for ensuring that it is meeting the desired level of performance and operational capability. So that is important. So which is there. ETA is a new ruling which is there by Department of Telecommunications. So that can also be explored. They give a WPC certificate for such wireless. Basically, it is for the communication systems. Next, please. So that is one thing that can help the startups to go ahead about the production. Actually, this I designed it for one of the army units to start manufacturing their product themselves. So they have to actually go ahead with the small pilot production for very small scale projects. Of course, it is not applicable for bigger teams here which are sitting. But then once they have achieved that, they can go for a mass manufacturing using the dedicated supply chain of the inventory and then provide the scaled production. And thereafter, they have to provide the necessary AMC and the training capability. I mean, I am very genuine here. Whatever drones we are supplying, I'm from the complete industry, the right amount of training and the sustainment, it still is a major gap. You may supply very good quality, all capable drone, but the guy who's going to be operating it, is he having that kind of skills? So that gap still remains. There are a lot of initiatives by the defense forces, but that will take time to bridge the gap. So actually, it's not a gap, it's a valley. We discussed some time back. Actually, it's a valley. But then with small steps, we will be able to bridge that. Next, please. So these are some of the innovations which are important. I thought I'll show. Just click 2 times. You will see some videos also. Just click. And again click, please. Okay. Both the videos are not playing together. Okay, yeah. So if you see on the, these are some of the technologies which are developed, through my association. So what you see on the left is an indoor drone which is flying. So it is very easy to see, right? But you see, if a person who is sitting outside and is trying to control a drone inside, there is a limitation of the communication channels. So there are almost 4 or 5 walls in between. So these kind of systems are required by the defense forces for the situational awareness. You imagine yourself in a situation of 2611. If such kind of systems were there, maybe many lives could be saved. Right? The idea is to go inside and see what is happening. These are kind of systems are there which are developed by our own indigenous Indian capable teams in industries. And on the right, what you see is something that we have developed, which is doing the attribute detection in the real time on the respective camera feeds which is coming. The drone which is loitering in the air, it is giving you a feed. Now you have to actually see and understand that what is happening. So might as well there is an AI layer there, and which is telling you that no, yeah, it's a swarm of drone, or it's a mortar. It's an enemy mortar, it's not our own mortar. So all these kind of attribute differentiation can be done by systems which are either onboarded on the drone, or it can be done at the back end also, which is there in your premises. So the idea is that just imagine in a forward area there are 100 drones flying. Now all these 100 drones are manned by individual guys, and every person is having their own video. What is the use? The commander is sitting behind 20 kilometers, 15 kilometers away. He is unaware about what is happening. The idea is that all that information should be fetched into him on a data wall, and wherever he wants to see, he should see all collaborated, all together. So that is the system of systems we are talking about. Next, please. Yeah, so when we talk about the evolution, what is happening is, the idea is that we have to go for enhanced decision making using drones, and use the drones for operational precision using loiter munition. Have the drones which can work beyond visual line of sight. So line of sight is for training purpose, for videography in marriages. When you are talking about defense, it has to be beyond line of sight. You cannot, this is something very important. Then AI integration needs to be there. So AI integration at two fronts. One is at the visual level and another at the operation level. When we talk about swarm does not mean that you are just placing the drones like a pixel in air, what you see in drone shows. That is not a swarm of drone one is talking about. Drone has to have their own intelligence. They should be over the mesh network. They should not collide with each other. They should be cohesive enough so that they do the mission. They should be redundant, that out of 10, if 2 are compromised, remaining 8 should be able to do the 10th job. That kind of intelligence should be onboarded in the swarm of drone. That is the overall concept that one is talking about. I covered swarm also. And advanced propulsion is that instead of typical engine based and the battery based, we are further enhancing to the jet propulsion and other propulsion technologies. The 5G communication is coming in. So of course it has limitation in defense domain, but in civil it has huge capability. So a drone can be actually controlled from anywhere across the globe. You can have a controller here, and through 5G you can control a drone in US. So that is the advantage. And of course, when I say AI based real time data analytics, so whatever information is coming, it is of no use if you cannot do analysis of that, if you cannot provide the right information about it. Next please. So a little on the swarm of drone, I have already explained a little. So this broadly talks about flocking, schooling and foraging. So flocking means they are going about together. When we are talking about schooling, they are going from A place to B place, that is called schooling. And foraging means whatever operational task they have given, all the drones are doing that together. So if they are asked to search for a tank, 10 drones are doing it together. So they are doing it together and they are scanning the area. So of course there are centralized systems, there are decentralized systems and fully autonomous systems. Fully autonomous is yet to achieve. Decentralized semi-autonomous is what the Indian capability is as of now. So the drones, swarm of drones which have been procured by the defense forces are very costly. Another challenge is to bring it down to a achievable cost where lower commanders can actually procure such systems. So I have given a demonstration of the AI-driven attribute detection system which is there. But actually this is just one part of a very big picture. If we see, the AI can actually be rolled out on multiple scenarios, be it navigation which is there, the path planning of the complete system. We can use images for the detection of the target, and this can all be done in real time. And to some extent we have achieved a lot of things. So you just give an image and throw the drone, it will search for the target and then it will destroy it with the onboard explosive device on board. And the automated image stitching, I'll just give you a small example. On the right you see there are 3 stadium pictures. So the drone flies over that, and if you see closely, there is one car parked in the first picture, and there are 3 cars parked which is not able to see properly because of the pixelation. So the 3 cars parked in the 2 images, and the drone has flown 2 times over the same area. Now those 2 images are fed in the AI algorithm that we have, and it tells you about the change detection it has seen. Now change detection can be any attribute that you want to give. I have given a car, I can give anything, whether it's a building or a track or a whatever, right? So it tells me with time stamp that these changes have taken place in this period of time. Just a POC that I am showing. The overall idea is that for every industry this is required. When there is a development of a project, like in railways, there is a project which is happening. What is the pace of the growth of that project? Whether it is meeting the timelines or not. Every time there are 4 people going on that small thing and they just go to the side, then they note down things, and it's almost a month's exercise. I can do it in nanoseconds, right? Just by sending the drone at frequent intervals, and it is giving me the right image, and through that images I can just analyze that the work is as per the progress sheet or not, or whatever some particular plant had to come up. It is in all industry, and in defense actually it has a major role because operational planning is done through this, and a lot of encroachment happens in defense line, so that is where it is applicable. And the GPU that I am showing again is designed by us through Texas Instrument, that is capable of taking care of 4 cameras at a time, while it can be onboarded on a little bigger drone. So actually the complete AI processing is done on board. You don't have to have a separate server for this. So that is the advantage I am talking about. Next please. And this is a little on the Gen AI, because my role is also to develop Gen AI. I am presently developing a major Gen AI project for the Indian Navy. The idea of showing this slide is that there is a huge potential in generative AI. I am just, point wise, I have just mentioned 15 odd points that where all it can be actually used. It can be used in all domains which are there in whether it is your offices, your operational centers, wherever there is a data, there is a Gen AI which can be created. So we all are, now using ChatGPT. Just imagine that ChatGPT is personalized to your personal database. You want to write a letter for your admission to a particular college, you just have to speak, and it will take out all the data from your 10th class mark sheet, 12th class mark sheet, your experiences, your everything, whatever internship you have done, and it creates your own personalized application. So I'm just giving you a very, very broad pictures of this. And in the future, the Gen AI is going to be personalized. It cannot remain just over the internet. So that is the idea of showcasing this. Next, please. And this is what I was talking about, generative AI architecture, because drones will subsequently fall into this picture, because they will create a hell of a lot of data, and that data has to be managed using a Gen AI. So that is the broader idea. And when I say Gen AI in defense, I am not talking about internet. I am using on-premise systems. So whatever I am creating without using any internet. I am putting it on-prem in the respective location ships or the defense units. The server is kept there. It may be a very huge server, but it will be kept there in their own location. So you don't have to connect to anybody across the globe. Every information is there at your peril, at your personal dimension. Next, please. Now, just a little on the integrated system. So, integrated system means that multiple things can be integrated over the same thing. So, when I talked about the drone, this is a medical delivery drone. So, medical delivery drones, one drone, what is the meaning of it? You just imagine that you are sitting in Hyderabad. There are 100 locations. There are in villages where people are not able to get the right medicines in time. So, you just put the medicine in all the drones, and you just feed the respective house numbers. It is going to be happening in future, not now, because of the limitations of the policies and the necessary framework. And this can actually go to a particular place and deliver the medicine the way it is shown. So you can actually monitor on an integrated setup on a wall, data wall. And this has been demonstrated to ECHS Bhubaneswar, which is very capable system that we have done. So any drone can be used. Actually, I am not talking about drone. The software technology is such that any drone can be actually picked up, and it can be used for this kind of thing. Just that it has to have that kind of payload capability and the range. Next, please. Of course, the latest trends are defense procurement. Huge emergency procurement is about to happen. That's what I have been told. When will it happen? I don't know, but it is going to happen. And there has been a huge trend. Almost 7,008 crore worth of drones have been procured in the last 2 years. So there is a huge potential in defense. So if somebody is thinking of going in that direction, that is a welcoming area. And in private sector, of course, there are huge things which are happening in healthcare, logistics, and AgriTech. AgriTech Drone Didi project is massive. Almost every state is getting 200 to 300 crores now. And if you include all the major agriculture-based states, almost 14 of them, so you can collaborate the total overall numbers. And of course, there is a huge requirement internationally also. Every day I get some call from one of the international collaborations that can provide your solutions for our drones, or can you provide your drones to our usage? But then you have to have those kind of arrangements and agreements for supporting that. Next, please. And the way ahead, this is my last slide, I will not bore you any further. There is a requirement of collaboration, as I said initially, that triple helix model. A triple helix model, which I said that academia, industry, and the government has to come together. This was first implemented in 1995 in US. So that is something actually now Government of India is doing it very fantastically. Just for the information of everybody, every IIT has got one army officer posted there for synergizing all this. An army officer posted there in IIT for coordinating everything. So that is something new. And drone as a service is for a lot of civilian use cases. This is something CC measures, means counter measures. What is happening is that the ISM band and the typical technology that we are using, it is countered by one of the jamming systems. So what defense would be asking, that it should be counter capable. Means if somebody is trying to counter you, jam you, then you should either hop to a different frequency, or you should have measures that it takes care of that. We have to have a bottom-up approach that all the solutions should be provided at the lower level where it is required the most. And it is decentralized logic means that not as I said about swarm of drones, it has to be at the respective as a mesh network. It need not be a master slave system in such system. The extended reality and digital twins, of course, these are also picking up. So when you are sending your drone away, you need its digital twin to be with you so that you know its serviceability and capabilities. What urban air mobility and drone traffic management is something to do with by the government of India now. Though it has been told by Prime Minister that the urban air mobility will be in reality in next 5 years. There are many good big companies which are massively investing in air taxis using drone technology. When will it happen? No one knows. Of course, it requires a huge drone traffic management. Next, please. Yeah. So I come to the end of this small talk of mine, which was a little long. Thank you so much.
So now I request Ramakrishna to give his perspective on challenges of deep tech startups in Indian ecosystem. And thereafter I will call Ravi Teja, Yomic Drones. And after that I will be calling Prem from Marut. Janaki for analytic perspective.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. So that was a quite insightful presentation. I hope a lot of gentlemen here and ladies will go to the family and tell a lot of about drone, defense drones. I will be focusing mostly on the challenges that startups or deep tech startups are facing these days. And before highlighting that, I would like to brief about my journey in this space for just a couple of minutes so that you guys understand what it takes and how much time it took for us to reach the stage we are. So small introduction about myself. I've done my bachelor's and master's in IIT Kanpur in aerospace engineering. Right after graduation, we formed this company, Endurance Systems, along with the professors and other students of IIT Kanpur. So the idea behind incorporation of this company is to bring the technology that is developed at IIT Kanpur, like what Kanal Tripathi has mentioned, the triple helix. So we are one of the prime example in the drone ecosystem. So the technology that has been developed at IIT Kanpur in collaboration with DRDO labs and HAL and multiple grants from the Department of Science and Technology. So we don't want the technology to lie around in just the research labs. We want to bring the technology out there and serve the purposes of the defense and the civilian needs of Indian ecosystem. So with that intention, we took this matter in our own hand. Although all our founders are coming from academia background, we took this as a challenge, incorporating it. Running a business is not a challenge, you all agree with me that. So we learned a lot of these things on the way. So initial phase where I was saying, as at IIT Kanpur, we used to work with a lot of these defense customers also. We used to consult some of these army design bureaus, and we developed some basic IP on that. So later when we incorporated venture, when we graduated as a group, then we started incubating at IIT Kanpur, and to validate the technology that has been developed in the research lab, we have done a lot of no cost, no commitment trials, like NCNC trials across various geographical conditions in Jaisalmer and in Mumbai for Marcos, or in high altitude for Gulmarg, Srinagar, Tawang. So various geographical conditions, we have taken our drones and we tested there just to gather the technical feedback. What is the difference between a lab grown technology versus what it's meant to operate in a defense environment, which is more rugged and which is more harsh for any technologies, including drones. So that is where a lot of experiences or a lot of feedback has been collected. And so that journey has took us around again 3 to 4 years. Then from 2022, when we moved out of IIT Kanpur, we graduated from the incubator and we have set up our own facility in Noida now. And currently we are operating from a 50,000 square foot facility, team of around 150. Still, we are learning a lot, and we are still at a very initial, we haven't made the impact that we wanted to make. We just started serving few small contracts to Indian defense, and we are on our way to further enhance our product development in terms of reliability, in terms of life cycle. So what I'm trying to make this here is like, the journey is so long. Deep tech, maturing a technology, especially in a field like robotics, it can't be done overnight. It takes years of effort and multiple domains of engineers like aerospace, mechanical, electronics, software, embedded. So, and it's not one iteration also. some of our products has gone through like 4 to 5 iterations. Still, they are not at close to 100% finished. So we are like that is, and through this through this journey, I'll come to the challenges. Yes, this is the that's where these are three challenges that everyone knows. Like there is the gestation period is quite long. Like I am the standing example in front of you. It's been like almost like 7 to 8 years. We still haven't reached break point. It's common for a lot of deep tech companies. It's not just to drones or defense. It's common to commercial deep tech companies also. And obviously there is a huge technical risk. There is especially when you're flying a drone, any malfunction or any error will lead to a crash of the drone, and like 25 lakhs or 30 lakhs worth of drone just goes to scrap. So that is a huge cost for the OEMs to take, and that is where we are now going. Like, I'll come to the point, but yes, that is where it requires a lot of patience capital. The word patience capital has been mentioned a lot, but I just want to explain it for the sake of everyone. So because what I think we were told in this the main auditorium also, there is a real estate mentality. Like Satish Reddy sir has mentioned this. So like it's basically the returns can't be expected in a matter of 1 or 2 years. It takes sometimes 5 years, sometimes a decade. So some of the drone companies or some of the deep tech companies took around 15 to 20 years to reach an IPO stage from an incorporation stage. So that is a kind of efforts to bring that maturity or a stability in the organizational growth. So that is where funds or that's where a lot of patience capital from both private players, like basically the equity investors, from family offices, or from the government. So government has also started very keen on this patience capital. They have been issuing a lot of funds also. So a lot of progress is going on it. I am not a brand ambassador of the government policies per se, but again, there is a lot of focus on it, but still on ground there is a lot to achieve. Maybe in next 3 to 4 years, we will we'll start realizing the benefits of it. But the current government has kept a lot of focus in supporting the deep tech. So obviously all of you know the major challenges that is being faced. Obviously the finance or the limited risk capital that is there in Indian ecosystem is obviously one of the key challenges, and the infrastructure gap and testing is also very particular for the defense drone ecosystem. So again, on this particular point, there is one good progress that happened in last couple of years. Is like Minister of Defense along with the DPSUs have started incorporating this defense testing infrastructure setups in UP Defense Corridor or in the Tamil Nadu Defense Corridor, and through which like around 400 crores has been deployed for setting up these drones. Like IIT Kanpur has taken lead along with the 5 DPSUs, and Endurance has on their own has invested in that setup also. 60 crores has been allotted to set up this complete specifically drone testing infrastructure, right from EMIMC, from the vibration analysis, of internal testings, and a lot many infrastructure will be built in next 1 year. But again, there is a focus on that, and policy regulation is also a big challenge for multiple deep tech ecosystems, including drones. So I am mostly focusing on the drones, but yes, the same challenges has been common for multiple verticals, like some of you guys already know. And then comes the early stage market adoption. It has also become a lot of challenge. Like Prem, my friend, is also here. In the agriculture itself, it has took almost like 5 to 6 years to bring that adoption at a mass scale. From the defense side also, for the adoption of these technologies, like there is acknowledgement, but acknowledgement is different from adoption. So there is a lot of time gap, and during which companies like a lot of these startups who are very have a limited access to the capital has to survive through this journey and also justify the revenue projections to the investors, and obviously to have to justify to yourself also what we are doing here, how much time it's going to take. I personally have thought I'll get a break in 2 to 3 years when I started in 2018, but it's been 8 years. I'm still stuck. Not stuck. I am still in the grind. So this is a slide I want to focus more, where I would like to share some of my learnings or some of my like you can call it wisdom, limited wisdom I have received. So the main challenge for the early stage startups is to access to risk capital or access to low access to the capital with limited challenges. So one such opportunity for what I'll suggest to any companies or any people who wants to start the company is like to associate with good incubators, because in India the incubator ecosystem has developed a lot in last 5 to 6 years. Maybe before 5 to 6 years there is very few incubators, Right now, a lot of Tier 1 colleges, IIMs, IITs, and a lot of private colleges also have started this incubator system, and where there are a lot of dedicated funds are being allotted. Initial funds up to 50 lakhs to 1 crore is also being given on just an idea stage itself, where you obviously they will take some equity, but that's a good support that you can get at the very early stage where you can kickstart your project, and they will also give access to a lot of infrastructure. Like for example, in my case, I needed to access a lot of testing infrastructure for my drones. IIT Kanpur has a 1 kilometer airstrip. I wanted to access to that. So those kind of infrastructure access is not possible if I'm not associated with IIT Kanpur. So those kind of infrastructure access, wind tunnels are there, and a lot of stress analysis labs are there. EMMC testing is there, laser cutting machines, 3D printers. So which I can't buy as a budding startup, but I can get a free access to all these things by associating with these kind of incubators. So similarly, IIT Madras has a aerospace and defense, space related focus, and Sign in IIT Bombay has a very good portfolio. So all these incubators are now expanding their scope of work, helping you not only in just incorporating, but also helping you in doing a good GTM, like they are taking you to the market, they are bringing you some of the VC funds also on their name. So the ecosystem, incubator ecosystem is growing a lot. And then obviously the next comes to the is the angel investments. So you as a founder, as an entrepreneur, you have to hustle, you have to talk to you have to be part of a lot of networks, and you have to leverage these networks in getting some initial fundings. So I know a lot of including myself, I know a lot of startups who has taken like 5 lakhs each or 2 lakhs each from like 10 to 20 people and pull it as an angel round and started their idea. And obviously as an angel round, you can use if you have friends and family, or there are a lot of corporate groups who are interested in supporting a budding startups. So that is angel investment is a low risk, or is something that you can access easily. And then comes the family offices. So family offices is where like there are a lot of high, ultra high net worth individuals. They open a small family office through which they want to invest their personal money in a more professional manner in startups. So family offices addresses seed stage to late stage also. Like the family offices range from 5 lakh check to 500 crore check also. Like they are the backbone of the VCs also. They are the mostly the private equity players or the LPs, limited partners for the VCs. So, but these family offices some of these family offices has their clear mandate to support manufacturing related startups or defense related startups or e-commerce, because any family office which is being owned by a FMCG owner will like to support a FMCG product, or any startup which is coming from a manufacturing, any family office coming from a manufacturing background would definitely like to support a budding manufacturing startup. So that's where you have to identify the right family offices. There are a lot of data out there available. You can, and they are the right ones who can give you a lot of patience capital also, because family offices doesn't work primarily on returns, but they want to work on more of a CSR philosophy or more of a giving back to the ecosystem. So that is something that you should be focusing on. And then comes, obviously we should not undermine the value of debt in this growth, because you can't go for equity every time. Equity is where you are diluting your ownerships, where you are answerable to the investors that you are taking the money from. So in this process, you have to give a lot of value to the debt, which especially for the low interest debt. So for that, Ministry of Finance and Ministry of DPIT also has come up with this new schemes, which has been enhanced every now and then. They have come up with this scheme called CGTMSC and CGSS. These are credit guarantee schemes where you will get loans without any collateral. These are unsecured loans. And they also come at an interest rate of like 9 to 10%, which is very good or very nominal when it comes to the debt in the open market. So a lot of these, earlier it has started with the limit of 2 CR. Now the limit of CGSS scheme is 20 CR. So considering you have a good potential and good growth that you can justify to the banks, a lot of banks including HDFC, ICI, SBI, everyone is issuing these loans, because these loans are backed by Ministry of Finance to the banks, and banks are asked to deploy this money without any collateral. So one should, like I was not aware of this CGTMSC scheme like 4 years into the operations. When I got to know that like 2 CR is available to me just at a 9% rate without any collateral, that is a good, and it has helped me in some of my low phases where I am running out of cash, because again, like I was mentioning, deep tech startups, like there is a lot of patience capital, and the working capital, especially if you're working in the defense, the working capital cycles are so huge, and you need to manage your cash much better. So that's where the debt works in your favor. And Yeah, and that's where like I feel like once you have to be aware of all these solutions and talk to as many people as possible, build a mentor network. No, mentor network is in terms like you need to have some financial advisors, you need to have a business development advisors. I personally have worked with both Colonel Narendra Tripathi sir and Colonel Jairam sir to understand this defense space, and you have to have a good product development advisors, because you can't do everything on your own, and there is no shame in reaching out to mentors and seeking their advices whenever you are having doubts, and then learn from them. And you can take decisions on your own, but try to take as many inputs as possible. The more the inputs, it's better. You will take a more less risky or more calculated risk that you can take. So that's where once we address these challenges as an ecosystem, I feel India has a lot of potential in this deep tech. Obviously, China has slightly ahead of us, not slightly, 10 years ahead of us, but still I feel we can catch up considering the support that we can get from the government and the ecosystem, the private equity players, and there's a lot of transition in this mindset. We all can agree with that, but there is a lot more to do. That's what I want to just add this 2-bit knowledge to everyone. Thank you.
Call on Hanuma Raviteja. We'll shift gear from defense, from Jai Jawan to Jai Kisan. So now it will be agri focus based on the next two speakers. After that, we'll bring in some analytic insight into the data that drones capture, and then we'll open the forum for the audience to ask some intrusive questions. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So till now, sir has explained on how the technology is working, and he has explained on how the financing is working. So let me just tell how drones are, revolutionizing agriculture and other civil applications. To start with, I'll just give you a brief how I came into drone industry. So I did my BTech from VIT Vellore passed in the year 2016. Post that, I have joined my dad's business, which is into agri inputs distribution, which is pesticides and fertilizers. So he used to send to meet the farmers and retailers, from my 10th class itself. So when we used to go to the retailers also, what we used to push to the farmers is what we want to sell rather than what the crop is required. So whenever there is a sales pressure or whenever there is a higher margin to the retailers, when a farmer comes and asks him, what am I going to supposed to spray, what he's going to say is use this chemical, along with that mix this one also, so that you'll be getting a better results. So there is no scientific database spraying happening. So that's what started us thinking, looking at the data by 2040 or 2050, if the food production does not increase by 60%, 40% of the global population is going to be in food shortage. So technology has to come into picture, and it's not too far, 2 decades away from that. So we started researching how other countries like Israel, China, Japan, which are really doing good in agriculture, are doing, and drones were doing extensive work over there. And in India, drones were banned in 2016-17. So we started talking to a lot of pesticide companies, understanding how the industry is going to evolve. And interestingly, everyone told that drones are going to be the future. And even in fertilizers, nano urea, nano DAP are coming into picture. But it's not just spraying that drones can do, but the data that we can get from the drones, based on the multispectral camera. If we capture the data, we'll be knowing what kind of damage or stress is being caused to the crop before 1 week, that we can see with the naked eye. So that will give us insights on what to spray and where exactly to spray. So if you have a 1 acre of land, you need not spray completely. When there is a fungus in certain aspect of area, you can be spraying there itself. So that will reduce the input cost also, and also pesticide content in the crop, which will help us in exports. So that's when in 2020, when COVID hit, labor shortage increased a lot. So we thought that is the right time to venture into the industry. And in 2020 July, we started Viomic drones with a major focus on agriculture. And when we started, our major focus was on manufacturing. And the vision was to become leaders in providing end-to-end drone technology solutions from farming to firefighting. But in agriculture, initially we started as a manufacturing company, but quickly we realized that Indian farmers are very small and minute landholding people, 1 acre to 2 acres. So not everyone can purchase a drone. So they require drone as a service. So we ventured slowly into drone as a service. We started with one drone, where I myself sprayed more than 4,000 acres on field, multiple areas in AP and Telangana, to understand how the farmers are reacting, how the crop is reacting based on the efficiency. So everywhere when we started, the major question was, earlier traditionally we are using 200 liters of water, but drone is going to do with 10 liters of water per acre. Is it efficient enough? So when we try to explain to them, farmers are more intelligent than us, so they are not listening to us. So we started collaborating with pesticide companies, and also Academy institutes like IKON, Indian Institute of Rice Research, Dr. YSR Horticulture University, Indian Institute of Oil Palm Research. So with them and with companies like Syngenta, FMC, Coromandel, IFCO, Bayer, Pesticides India. So with them we started approaching farmers, giving demos to them, and I'm explaining how the drone is going to be helpful with them. And apart from agriculture, we are also into land mapping, construction servicing monitoring, and also urban planning, where many municipalities are right now using drones to monetize many assets. Incidentally, when we went to Elur municipality, they had more than 2,000 crores of assets, but they don't know where exactly those assets are there and how they can be monetized. So we completely surveyed the municipality and gave them where exactly what assets are there, how can they be monetized, sitting with them. So such kind of use cases also, by digital twinning of the city, we can be helping municipalities. Similarly, in agriculture, it's not just spraying, precision farming, and even for insurance companies to identify where exactly or how much crop damage has been done. We have been helping them as well. So this is our team, when people say when you love the work, you don't feel like you're working hard. I really felt that when I started working with our team. So Sai Charan, he's my co-founder, he's my friend since 2010. So whenever we work together, it's always like, we are having fun. We never felt like we are working hard. And Hemant is my brother. So this team has always been like, having fun and going forward with very good motive and trying to help the farmers. We are also DGCA, Civil Aviation Approved Manufacturers. So we have one product which is already approved, SID A610, and we also have the second product with higher endurance and also more AI integrated, which is SID VD610, which is in approval. And with SID A410, we have, it can be spraying more than 60 acres in a day. So that is in documentation phase. So these three products will be helping in agriculture. And with respect to land mapping, we have a VTOL and quadcopter that will be, VTOL, this can be covering more than 20 square kilometers in a day for land mapping. And quadcopter have an endurance of 40 minutes. So like I was telling you, we're into three sectors: agriculture, land mapping, and others. So in others, we have been working with institutions when they have a requirement. For example, there is this institution called National Institute of Ocean Technology in Chennai. When we met them, they have a use case where ideally they're going on a boat and collecting water samples and getting back. So they wanted a drone to do that. We worked on a drone which is going almost 5 to 6 kilometers from the shore, collecting water samples, withstanding high wind velocities and getting back, which is already in use in Chennai. Such case, based on the use case, we even develop customized products. So in drone as a service, I will explain next level. So in drone as a service, till now we have covered more than 140,000 acres. Company owned, company operated sprayings we have done for more than 140,000 acres. We have served more than 25,000 farmers till now. So like in agriculture, Syngenta is a pesticide, one of the leading pesticide company. We're exclusive partners for them in Telangana. Any drone that's flying for Syngenta, spraying their farmers, it's our drone in Telangana. Apart from that, Coromandel Grow More Stores, we are working with them. IFCO, we have a tie-up for nano urea spraying, and nano urea is going to help government a lot because it's not just about the chemical, it's going to save a lot of, many crores of subsidy amount that's going into urea and fertilizer subsidizing. And Pesticides India, FMC, we are exclusive partners for them for South India. So this was the drone I was talking about for National Institute of Ocean Technology, which is very huge, completely designed in-house. We have already deployed this drone over there. And we are slowly venturing, this is still in R&D, we are building drones for painting purposes and also cleaning high-rise buildings. So it might take 1 or 2 years for us to stabilize the drone and get it into the picture, but yeah, we're there. So these are few drones which are in R&D. This drone can, right now carrying up to 50 kgs of payload, but still we are working in high altitude conditions. We're still working on that. So in next 6 months, we'll be having that drone also ready into the market. Yeah. So like one more thing I would like to add here. So like he was saying, when we started the company, it was very difficult as a founder. When we started, the funds were very little. Incubator was really good. We incubated in CIE called CIE in IIIT Hyderabad. So they helped us a lot in initial phases. We got more than 55 lakhs of grants from the government, and also banks have helped us. So all these 5 years of journey where there was a phase we had to fire 2 employees that we had also, where we couldn't pay them. Right now we have a team of 80 people. We are working really well. So all these 5 years of journey, what I have learned is, as a founder, as a startup entrepreneur, you have to have one major quality: perseverance, perseverance, perseverance. If if you have that, whenever you're failing also, if you have that gut feeling that your idea is good, you're going to succeed. So that's it. Thank you.
So Prem, I think you will bring more perspective into agriculture. And I suggest you also touch upon the training part. That's okay, I mean, you are.
So good evening everybody. So how did I come? I'm an engineer, like graduated like everybody does. After graduation I worked in Canada and came back. Then one of my batchmates wants to make a filmmaker, so we've started a film company. So in the city of Hyderabad we started a film company by name Rasta Films. So then this entire got into the drone space because we've been using drones for mounting big cameras like 10 kg, 20 kg cameras in back 2010, 2011. So the problem, what we brought us to drones is eradicating this malaria and dengue. So city of Hyderabad, we started in 2014-15 onwards. So if you are next to any lake, water body or Musi, if you have seen some reduction of cases of dengue, malaria in the city, we brought from 20,000 dengue cases to less than 1,000. Some 18,000 malaria cases of 2015-16, last 6-7 years to less than 800 now. So what we thought was, we've been listening from our childhood, like technology will impact. We saw mobile phones, we saw internet doing something. But after that, whatever we study, in all education we study a lot of mechanical, electrical, lot of stuff we study, but we don't know what they're going to impact us. So and when every day from morning to evening, we see a lot of problems. Like when we start from home to your school, to your office, to come back, everywhere there's a problem, but what we think is, someone will solve, let me buy or let me adopt, or it's not my problem, it's someone's problem. So same stage what we saw was, why this problem was so personal was, I stay this side of the city, my parents stay the other side, like whether it's Midani and everything. Next to your parents' house, there's a water body. And 2012 to 2014, whenever I used to visit quarterly once, monthly once, I used to go and complain to the municipality. And one fine day in 2014, they collected all and said, I think you're educated, right? Why can't you move your parents to a place where you feel safer? Don't come and complain us, we don't have money and we don't have people. So then I started seeing this problem very near. If you are anyone from Kukatpalli, Pragati Nagar Lake nearby, if you go now also in the post 6 o'clock, you can't stand outside for 5 seconds. You'll start doing, like you can't have a sip of a tea also. So then we started seeing who is solving this problem. The problem of this dengue malaria is solved by a municipal worker who works every day morning, gets into the water body to the neck level, clears it up. Like if you go to any Musi has all banks of Musi graveyards. The entire chicken extraction of the old cities or city dumps into the Musi, and we expect nothing should happen to us. So then we started seeing it. The problem is such a big that there is a water hyacinth, lot of the BOD levels high, and it's very difficult person to do address. Then we started thinking, okay, and almost only 1/3 is accessible, like remaining part is not accessible majority of time. That's we started thinking, can we do with a drone? Then I went back and I said, 2 of my batchmates at IIT, I said, there's a problem, why can't we do it? They came back like 7 years back, till now they have not left. So then we did not register a company. We wanted to solve a problem and tell that this is a solution kind of a stuff. So in 2019 we have registered a thing is because for 4-5 years we were solving the problem. The government was asking us, give us some bill, you've been doing freely and why can't you take some money and everything. So then once we solve this problem, the problem comes with more of a adoption. So the problem was not just the drone. There was a sensor which is trapping a mosquito and giving a dashboard for the commissioner. And what happens is, every year the commissioner changes, right? The next guy comes, sits in this chair, the monsoon hits, he's in the mode of attacking mode of reducing the dengue, reducing the malaria. And if you see newspapers of September, October, dengue, this many people died. Or malaria, this many people died and everything. So what we saw was, if a decision maker understands there's a problem in this part of the city, he'll make such a way that he can quantify the problem and he can help the people to understand, to solve this and that. So that's where we almost 700 sensors throughout the city was there. Every sensor we keep, next day theft, power cut, then we made solar based. Still, so we have replaced more than 20 times. So then we understood who are doing this is the corporator or the MLC or MLA's person who were making money on this. Then we understood the problem of dengue malaria is 1,000 crores revenue for everybody in the city. And we are trying to solve that, and they don't want the problem to be solved. Then we thought, okay, we should move on to this problem. We have created a company. We have built a drone, and we have a team. So can we move to a different problem statement other than this? And we continue to solve this problem only for city of Hyderabad. Then we started thinking of a problem of solving it in the afforestation. So we thought, okay, people are planting in cities, and they plant same area every year. The madness of planting is just, they want to spend some CSR money. But actual green cover we felt was in the forest areas where deforestation, forest fire is happening. And because of that, animals are coming out and people are attacking them, or they are attacking people and everything. So we started doing it. Then again we understood was all the money which government gives on CAMPA funds for afforestation are given on a beneficiary schemes. This can be of free money giving to state governments and everything. That's where in 2018, again, what we thought was, okay, we were in the constant look for a problem. That one problem which was struck us, if you have a mobile, just type cancer train your mobile. Cancer train. Cancer train. Everyday train goes from Punjab to Rajasthan. And train name itself is a cancer train. And 90% are farmers who are going for cancer treatment. Okay, then we went and we saw and everything. The first thing what we saw was they were spraying, they were eating in the same environment. If you see when farmers spray, 90% goes in air. Less than 10% falls actually in the field. And none of the farmer wants the children to do farming. They want people come to city, do at least the Ola, Uber, Zeptos or tea, but they don't want the farming to be done by them because they go through a lot of health hazard, lot of challenges what they see. So that was the first trigger. Then the same year, there was if you type in Google, Yavatmal spray death. People were spraying, suddenly wind blown to villages. So hundreds and thousands people die. Because when they spray, once people inhale and everything. What farmer does is, he mixes 3-4 chemicals and does the spraying, unknowingly. And he thinks I'm spraying in my field. But what is happening is it spray is falling on the water body, spray is falling on the land and everything, which is, if the wind is blown and everything, there's a lot of damage happening. So that's where we started thinking, okay, can we use these drones for the agriculture purpose? So what my other speaker was trying to tell is, yes, today, healthy people like you and me, coming to Marigold kind of a hotel, we eat a food. We don't know from where it is coming. And healthy people, we don't have any histories, but we are prone to cancer. When we started asking that, we will pay for this R&D, that's where 2018 to 2020, we did a lot of trials or SOPs, what we say, on different height, on any impact on flora, fauna, soil. Because in 2019, lot of environmental activists went to court and gave a complaint on me saying that these guys are spraying in water body, it might impact on biodiversity. And I was getting a lot of criminal cases. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to solve it, but someone is trying to say that this is some bigger issue and everything. So to address this, we started doing R&D. And in 2020, we had all the results and everything. What a farmer used to spray 200 liters per acre. With the 10 liters is enough. So we have reduced more than 80% usage of water. Like example, half the time we are struggling with the groundwater, what you see here and everything. Second, what we saw was, what it was taking 4-5 hours, it is reduced to 10 to 15 minutes. So what farmer, and India is particularly small and marginal farmers, as you know. So everybody work for someone in rural areas. So the less than 5 acres, less than 3 acres farmers usually work for the larger farmers. So there was a shift. What is we have seen is they are calling the someone who has a drone in rural areas. They're getting it the work in less than 1 hour, 2 hours, and they're going and working for the larger farmers. So what we have seen is in 2021 onwards, we are not selling to farmers. We clearly know farmers, like it's like mobile phone. In 1990, mobile phone was hardware. It was people looking were very hardware, very music driven or something. Today, the mobile phone is hardware agnostic. Similarly, drones will also go into a lot of transitions. So that's why we felt was who should adopt this drone was an entrepreneur who is unemployed, 10th, inter, polytechnic, or existing auto guide or tractor driver, those kind of people. Can they learn this? And then can they provide a service to a farmer? That was a thought process. So then we started doing this, and today we are operating in more than 10 states. So in the process, what we understood and the mandate what we have is similar to an automobile. Like you have a 3-wheeler, 4-wheeler, or 2-wheeler. To drive it, you need to have a license. Similarly, for a drone is like an automobile. A drone has a number, like your vehicle number. A drone needs a person driving license, similar like there's a pilot license. And drone has as in subsidy, loan, or insurance, similar to your automobile. So how safe you trust and use your automobile, similar trust and safe you can feel by buying these drones. And consciously we are doing only in one sector like agriculture is because first we started solving a problem of spray. Then we understood is spray is only 150 to 180 days in a year. And anybody in rural areas, they compare with tractor. So they buy a tractor for multi-purpose, not just for spray, carry, or they have a lot of attachments to it and everything. So that's where we started thinking, can this drone do more than the spray? Then we automated the fertilizers. Like people disperse the fertilizer or they disperse the seed, granular seeds and everything. The third problem statement we took was, okay, if you see agriculture type, you see like 10-15 women doing planting paddy or transplanting paddy. So, and these days, thanks to cosmetics, thanks to a lot of the modernization, you don't find for 1 acre 10-15 women working for you, and the rainfalls are not constant, they're uneven. So people are not getting the time for nursery and to do the transplanting, like more of manual. So that's where we took this challenge and we thought, okay, can we automate this with the drone? So today, in a nutshell, what we did was a drone which does one application versus a drone doing 5 to 6 applications. So what we see is in our lens, a drone which is using for 150 to 180 days, right? We have increased to 240 to 250 days usage. So that's where we are in manufacturing. We are selling from Hyderabad, and we realized people have to learn this. That's why we decentralized the training processes. So we did a lot of franchisee point of, we have created more centers. We have around 11 centers at present. And from city of Hyderabad, we've grown, we have 190 people. So then a lot of people come to us, like we have this problem. We realized is going in one sector vertically down is more important than expanding to many use cases. That's where we started focusing on more use cases using this same drone what he has. Can I make more applications, more payloads, so that can he use year long? So when you type the first fighter jet which HAL has released, it's named Marut in 1960. And when we were starting first, we were using it, we wanted to have something Sanskrit word. And or worst case, when we are reaching anyone says, let them feel it is Maruti. Like let them feel that it is a big company. So we thought in that way we kept this, and we wanted very short because from starting we wanted to have something name which has a Indian and simply people can remember fast. So earlier company was Rasta. This was a Marut. Thank you.
సో నైస్. ఐ థింక్ తెలుగు వాళ్ళకి మారుట్ అంటే అర్థం అవ్వదు, ఎలాగో మారుతీయ అనుకుంటారు. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ గుడ్. సో Mohan Krishna garu, would you like to say some words about robotics? I would like to understand how the next generation is going to be impacted with robotics in education, and how do they deal with robotics in day-to-day life. I would like to see about 20 years from now, do you think robots are going to be human companions? And how do you think the education system should deal with it? So I would like you all to think for a while that those people are talking about drones. I personally feel today the discussion has shifted away from drones, and I see it is only the application that is important than the vehicle itself. So please put your thoughts into it. Maybe we can have some good questions to Janki on how applications are going to impact drones and how analytics is going to bring value to the entire drone industry. Tripathi has brought out some beautiful insights on what kind of applications one should look at and how AI is going to come in. Is AI really going to solve what people are talking, or is it a buzzword that everybody talks about AI, and in the end the computing power, it is on the drone or in the control station? If it is in the control station, who has the access for it? And I think you are doing some good work on mining and those kind. I would like you to cover after Mohan into question answer session, because I want the audience to ask questions on analytics.
Okay. Okay, thanks a lot, sir, and thanks a lot all the other speakers for setting up the occasion. So yeah, maybe I'll take a small deviation from the present day topic because it was more completely into drones. So I'm going maybe a little more broader perspective, which is robotics. I think robotics, maybe drone is one of the applications of the robotics. Maybe that is how we can actually look at. I'll just try to give a very brief experience about how we started and we are here. So maybe in 2009 to 14, that's when we started something to provide some research platforms for the young students to learn and do. So I think the biggest problem of maybe the education system that we are having is there is little less practice when there's lots of theoretical orientation. So with this focus, we started developing the research platforms where students can start working, doing some projects, and then they can learn. And eventually we got experience of working with R&D projects for the defense, for the manufacturing, and we have developed multiple research multiple projects on simulations, unmanned systems, defense applications. And somewhere in the journey, we felt that whatever the knowledge that we're acquiring, we'll articulate that in the form of a curriculum and some educational robotics kits for the younger students. So this experience can be transferred to the next generation, and that's when the skill gaps and everything can actually eventually be addressed. And maybe once that is addressed in the next 5 years or a decade or 15 years or 20 years, we'll have a more profound engineers who are actually having lots of experience in the deep tech and develop and cross countries like China and the other. So that's the perspective that we have started. So today I'll be very quick. I'll finish my presentation maybe in 5 to 10 minutes, but I'll just I'll use my own, yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I'm just, okay. So the problem, as I've told, so we are actually dealing with too much of theoretical orientation and less applied learning. And the solution that we would like to give is more of a practical learning, and it's applied STEM skills. We call it as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics skills actually. So the ultimate agenda is actually to, in the classrooms, we just wanted to introduce robotics platforms which will establish a certain platform for the experimentations or reflective observation, conceptualization, and they can be experts in 21st century life skills of problem solving, critical thinking, and we are using predominantly the robotics platforms to do that. For example, when I say robotics platform to do this, what I wanted to tell is we go to a school, let's suppose, or we go to a college. We set up something called as robotics lab in the schools. When I said robotics lab, we give educational kits. For example, let's take that one small table in a 6th class students. And in that table, we set up around 3 to 4 students and we give a project to them. We ask them to build a robot which, let's suppose, moves on that table but doesn't fall. So it's a small challenge for the young students to actually build a robot which moves on the table but doesn't fall. That means whenever it is coming off the edge, it is sensing and it is coming back, or it is stopping, or it is braking. So there's so many science principles or so many math principles that actually has to go into it. So when I give this challenge, the students actually start building. We give also the hardware like wheels, like motors, like sensors, and the reprogrammable circuits and the software, and very detailed step-by-step instructions on how to build that. So we are actually bringing some kind of a project-based learning approach into the classrooms. Yeah. So this is the STEM education thing. Maybe I'll just skip this a bit. Yeah, I would like to focus on this slide. So this is one of the products, like, I mean, how we're actually doing this is we are the OEM and the original equipment manufacturers of STEM education kits in India, and also we have our reach to a couple of countries around India, like Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai. So we are actually got into a very serious mode in setting up robotics labs, STEM education labs, and it is a complete IP. This is a proprietary rights of all this. It's like owned, designed, and developed in Hyderabad. Actually, that's a moment of pride for all of us. Actually, so what we do is we do these structural blocks and these reprogrammable circuits, and also we design this RoboGuru as a software and a detailed content. So we map from the 3rd grade to 9th grade, and in every grade the students will be doing some 10 to 15 robotics projects in their year, and they display their robotics projects, and when they are doing these projects they're learning their science skills, math skills, and applying with the coding, and they're eventually having a kind of a learning roadmap across the year. And by the time they reach by the 9th grade, they actually do a robotics project, or they build a drone, or they build something for a particular specific application, and they submit a project thesis by the end of this completion of these 6 to 7 years of education that they had. So this is a very detailed, documented and accounted, which is aligned with the CBSE curricula and ICSE curricula, IB curricula. So we actually put all of these into a kind of a more of analytics driven and feedback driven, very personalized feedback for the individual students on what is that area that they should work on and how they have to improve. So by the end of 9th grade, the students who have undergone this program, the students who don't undergo this program, there is lots of difference on how they think about a situation and how they think about a mechanism. That's a visual thing. Like, I mean, these are the couple of projects the students actually can do. They can build a conveyor belt mechanism, or they can build a forklift or railway gift. So every mechanism that they are building here is actually mapped to an industrial application. How it actually works, they do it in a miniature mode. They program it, they design it. So this entire building of it and step by step is what predominantly the JR Robotics actually builds for the young students. And journey starts here. This is the starting of that, and then eventually it goes to higher education, industry 4.0 skills. So that's how we graduate our programs too. And on the other side, we work lots of with defense applications. So we take what are the latest trends, what we are learning there, what we are acquiring there, and we adopt them in the kind of our curriculums, and then we give that knowledge back to the students. So this is one of the very interesting. I request you to try once you go home. Maybe you can download this roboguru.net. This is a programming tool where students can actually, on the right side, there is a simulator. On the left side, you can actually create the code. That means whatever, okay, on the right side, on the top, there is something called as help. You'll have a couple of challenges there. So make sure that you move the robot in this arena, but it doesn't collide with any wall. So that's the challenge that I'm giving to the student. So here, that means I'm building an obstacle avoidance robot, which is used in many unmanned systems or any other systems in the defense applications, and also even in the drones also, where the obstacles are avoided. So on the left side, the students are actually coding. And once they execute, they see that this particular robot is actually executing that code. And I'll just take 2 minutes and I'll actually show in real so that. Yeah. So I just wanted to show this for this purpose only actually. So this is the environment on the right side where there is a factory kind of a setup, where on the left side, you can actually build the code. Here, the students can simply drag and drop. They can add multiple motors, sensors. So this is a very interesting tool. So there is a sky's the limit on this tool. You can add more sensors, you can add more motors, and you can build different kinds of coding languages and finally see how the code is actually being deployed in the real. And also, if you click on this thing, you can actually change the parameters of the robot. You can change the diameter of the wheel, or you can increase the coefficient or decrease the coefficient, and you can do various. So you can check the impact of a physical parameter on the code. So sometimes the students are really good at programming, and sometimes the students are very good at simply building the mechanical structure of it. So both the skills are very valuable, but how you are actually executing your own challenge is what. For example, if I increase the diameter of left wheel 2 times to the diameters of the right wheel, what happens? That can be the question in the class, and the students start thinking, okay, the left wheel turns less when compared to the right wheel, so more rotations will not happen here. So the more rotations will be happening on the right side. So it takes a curve. So that kind of an analysis. So now my next question would be, okay, my wheel on the left diameter is high and my right is less, but still I wanted to go in the straight. It should not go in the left. So this is one of the challenges that I can give to the student, and they can work on the challenge. I can increase the mass of the robot. I can change the sensitivity of the sensors. What will it impact? So this whole thing of changing the parameters and checking how the same code is getting applied on the simulator is one of the biggest experience of like, you see, in reality and in simulation there's lots of difference. There's a biggest difference of when we are doing the R&D projects, there's the biggest catchy. As much as we reduce this, if this difference in the simulation reality, if we are reducing this in all perspectives, I think the R&D cost will be much lower and the products coming out of the research will be much faster. I think if this is adopted and if this is educated from the school, if that mindset is given from the school to the college, I think things will evolve is one thing that we have. So this is, I just wanted to show. I request all of you to please download. It's a free license. You can actually give it to your kids. They can start working on it. And yeah, so the next thing is that is for schools, and then we eventually graduate to the colleges. We set up something called as Center of Excellence. Sorry. Yeah, Center of Excellence. So we set up a very state-of-the-art robotics lab, conveyor belt, all the research platforms, assaulters, if you exapods and drones, everything in a kind of a center of excellence in the colleges. And we make many projects, right from the 3rd semester to 8th semester. Every semester, 60 hours of the student, they'll be working on these programs, and they develop and graduate, and they come out of these colleges as a skilled workers actually. And we given a very semester based finishing. By the end they come, they do prototyping of it, and they also do the finishing. So students who have undergone this are more suitable for the startups or deep tech startups. So we are working on the skill gap on the other side of it. So maybe this will be my last slide. So I think India next 5 years is going to be very key, and I think lots of crucial growth is awaiting India. I think the biggest gap that I see is I think we need more build to spec companies. I think there are many specifications which are out there. I think sirs, I think they agree with me because they day in day out they deal with such kind of challenges. So there are certain specifications which people are still evaluating, and you need companies who are actually building to spec to those specifications. So for that we need a very specialized talent which we have to do. I think that's where J Robotics is actually spending their time, hours, and developing that. So this is a small presentation I thought I'll share, which will be unique. Of course, it is a little different from the drones, but I thought this will be some value addition to all of you. Thank you very much.
But let me tell you, though he didn't mention, and I correlated today, I was working with this company since 2013. And when he wrote J, I didn't know it was J Robotic. So I was the one who brought them to HDD. And thereafter, the first drone that I built was in 2015 in Srinagar. Their team stayed with me in Ranjit, if I remember the name of the person. And thanks, I correlated today that you are the founder.
Atal Innovation Mission have been working closely with STEM, and they have been focusing with Atal Tinkering Lab, and recently they got a government grant of around 5,000 crore, which they wanted to infuse that into such kind of startup working in STEM education. Please try to have a MOU sign up.
So do we have another mic if someone has? So I'll open the gathering for questions in case anyone from the audience would like to ask a question to the speakers or the panelists.
The program that you have targeted reaches them very easily. But how do you think that can be made accessible for people in the rural areas, and also especially I think I am impressed by that you are targeting the school kids mostly than the engineering students or those that are out of the college, because that's where all of the knowledge comes in and the seeds of inspiration or aspiration comes from. And how do you think these can be made accessible for people from the rural areas and each and every kid essentially?
Okay, we work with 500 schools across country. I work with a school in Srinagar. I worked with school in tribal areas in Adilabad. I worked with schools in Calcutta. I worked with schools in Kanyakumari. So the model that we have figured out is we have a very well structured, which got evolved over 7 to 8 years, where we go to the school. We made this program very simple with the simulators, with very simple instruction manuals and also videos, where anyone who is as small as 3rd grade or 4th grade can actually easily adapt. So being an OEM, in STEM education, what happens is 90% of the companies outside, they buy some China's robotics kit or they buy some Lego Mindstorms and they make it very complicated and put it to the students. But here, being OEMs, we had experience of designing our own hardware, our own software, our own content, the entire videos. So being from end-to-end provider of all these things, it helps us to design this in such a way that even a simple 3rd and 4th grader can do it. And also a school teacher who is set up in the school will be trained on a particular method, and we have done that. So when it comes to rural, we worked with Telangana Social Welfare Group of Schools from 2017 till 2021. Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar Garu as a IPS officer. So he has actually first time has given us an opportunity to work with the rural students. So it is very much accessible. It is in terms of the cost and also in terms of the operational excellence at the schools.
Thank you. As a follow-up, I have a next question.
Yeah.
So you have explained us what your company is doing and what you are doing. But for us, what can we do to make this happen or reach for more people? And what are the
We are
next
tying
steps?
up with lots of NGOs, lots of CSR funds, actually funds our activities. We go to, you can write a simple mail to me saying that mohan@jrobotics.com. You can actually push all your questions, and we'll have a very detailed discussion. We'll have a pinpointed discussion on what you want to do in the rural areas.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great.
Since you said you have done some research on agricultural drones, what about aquacultural drones? Have you done any research on that? Because I have some aquaculture farms. Actually, there's a lot of scope for doing some coming with a product for aquaculture farmers to identify the problems of the species inside the water.
So one of the immediate thing what we are doing is feeding, like more of we are fish feed kind of a one, because the person who is traveling from one pond to other pond is transmitting the diseases if it is there. So first thing what we are doing is with the bigger drones, which are 50 kg, 70 kg drones for the fish feed point of view. Is first we have started. Like you said, a lot of people are asking about the population count.
Exactly.
So, but it's inside the water.
There are underwater drones, but I don't think so that is also useful right now.
So still a lot of institutions are doing a lot of research on the population count so that it could provide right quantity of like a feed for them, not excess, not less. And aqua farmers are very educated and they check pH values in a day 3-4 times, and they do feed accordingly, right?
Exactly.
So first we are automating the fish feed. Second we are doing is a delivery. So we are yet to come up with a project where we are working with the research organizations. The aspiration is catch fish from any of these reservoirs or any of the river and bring that fish to a more of market yard, like delivery point of view. Fish feed and delivery are two things which we're gonna listen in this 2025. So the huge push is happening from Government of India to push drones in fisheries. But the aspects where population count or the death of a number of fishes and everything is still the problem of it's not just the drone, it's a problem of the
identification of
and also the algorithms and certain analyticals where we do that will take little more time.
Because there is no solution for it as of now to aquaculture farmers, because the same as you said, the same spraying drone can be used for fish.
No, that's where I'm saying, like in agriculture 10 liters was the very standard and very entry point of your drone. When it comes to aquaculture, 50 kgs, 100 kgs,
because
larger drones which are coming into aqua because of fish feed.
So
you don't want a small drone to go multiple times, and you want a bigger drone to feed the like at least 5-10 ponds in one go. And also you wanted certain delivery from at least from your center point to your pond, or from your pond to your market yard, kind of a stuff.
More than delivery, I think if you do R&D for understanding what's happening inside, like you said, for agriculture, if you can study from the top how the crop is reacting to the medicine you have.
So I'll tell you, we are like a diagnostic center. We are not doctors. You're expecting us to be a doctor. No, we are not doctor. That's what I'm saying. Like you go to for your healthcare, you have a problem, you'll do MRI scan, CT scan, all diagnosis center will do. But they won't give you any advice, right? They won't give you any solution, right? They'll give it to a doctor, a subject matter expert, right? So what we are trying to do is, through technology, we are giving this data so that subject matter expert or the decision maker who understands that sector can take a right decision.
And maybe then put in an analytic platform based on some LLM or something, and then they map. So I think there is still some time to reach there, but yes, you may sponsor a developmental program. Maybe one of the drone companies can take it forward. Why don't you engage? I think there are people in this room. It would solve your problem, and they will also scale maybe.
It's a problem of large volume of farmers.
I mean, see, it's a pilot. You can always do a pilot, and then have some IP, joint IP or something, and then it can be a good business solution. Maybe, I mean, it's a loud thought.
Yeah.
See, one of the areas where we were supposed to cover is opportunities. So I'm grateful that you brought up an opportunity for them. So I have noted down some questions. If nothing from audience, then I am forced to ask questions. Yes.
Shoot to Tripathi, sir. So, what are the opportunities? No one talks about the structural design part actually here. So, what are the current challenges you guys are facing in the drones mechanical structural design and all? So, because it should be light in weight, high in strength. Obviously, carbon composites, major people are working, I guess. So, what are the opportunities for the glass fiber composites or hybrid composites to build the drones?
Very good question. Thank you. So in the defense, the requirement of drones is of variety of types. Variety, when I say, firstly, it is based on the sectors. It can be desert, it can be mountains, jungles. So that is the one type of requirement. Another is the type of operations is going to be utilized for, whether it's a logistics operations or a ISR mission or a combat kamikaze. So this defines the design of the drone. So let me continue. So when you are designing that particular type of drone, that particular design will define the structural requirement. So whether you can actually afford a glass fiber, I don't know. I mean, it is case to case basis actually. So for carbon fiber is something which is universally accepted, and generally in all the drone designs is being used. For a bigger drones, yes, aircraft aluminum grade is also being used. So again, it is case to case. So yeah, if you have a solution which can actually replace the existing carbon fiber with the kind of strength and the weight that you are promising.
Cost effective is the solution.
Cost is one, but defense is not bothered much about the cost, to be very frankly speaking. They don't have any dearth of money. It is only, if they get the right solution, the money is never a problem. The point is that your solution should be aligned to their operational requirement. It should not happen that you have provided something and their earlier version was a better one. Then that is the challenge. So I take it that way. Yeah.
I think the FRP and the composite materials, I think the requirement was what I have got in my experiences. I think the battery runout is very aggressive in the drones or in any other unmanned system. For example, if you are actually going for unmanned ground vehicles, so lots of demand. Unmanned aerial systems is a drone. There is another space called as unmanned ground systems, which is going to grow in much more in a bigger way. So here the lifetime the battery runtime is one of the key factor. And if you are actually using metal parts, like for example a bulletproof or metal parts, it's lots of weight. When it's lots of weight, the battery consumption is so high. I think more than cost, if the FRP is actually coming in and it's increasing the battery runtime, I think that is one of the biggest use case that you can actually do for the defense. I think that pitching of your FRP, one perspective is this actually. Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity. I can say FRP which you have asked can be used in outer shells of the body rather than using the structural material, where the chassis should be done in carbon fiber, and outer bodies can be made with FRP, and that will be cost effective. And to answer your question, sir, aquaculture. So we are building underwater drone. So it will be useful for your things and pond cleaning.
But when I tried to search in web, I didn't find any underwater drones.
Now we are evolving, sir. By end of this year, we'll be into the market.
Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Ashit, founder and CEO, Accento Technologies, and we are into multiple sectors. We own an automobile company called Always Automobiles. So we made India's first electric cafe racer, and parallelly we are working with the defense and then automotive components. So we are working for all companies as a OEM and ODM. So currently we are developing a project called Kurma, inspired from tortoise. So we are building it as indigenous underwater drone.
Thank you so much. Happy to hear about it, and we wish you good luck.
And for that underwater drone, we are developing some DEVO related and EHP related sensors also. Yeah. Those are the most important parameters in maintaining aquaculture, right? We're also embedding that kind of sensors. Yeah.
Engineering perspective, for the diploma holders and other BTech degree holders, we are looking at entrepreneurs to be made using the drones. What will be the very cost-effective price that we can get for purchasing a drone and make these people as entrepreneurs?
This has a two-pronged answer, sir. Based on the budget, I could say. What people are doing the jugaad what they do is they buy a smallest drone of DJI, which is around up to 3-4 lakh, and they capture the data. It can be your construction surveying, doing orthomosaic, or taking a lake survey, or doing some encroachments or something, and using a platforms. Like example, we have one of panelists, they also have a platform, and rather downloading every report and making you use one more software, there's a platforms where you can check these all outcomes, what is there, and periodically you can check. You can compare 3 months to 6 months before. So those, like what is there, suppose 3 months before how it was, now how it is, you can compare doing all the change detection, everything. So if it is an Indian drone, you can think of it starts from 8 lakhs to 10 lakh rupees on a hardware. And the software, you don't need to buy the softwares which are very advanced and everything. You need to spend around 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees. Like people in the market, they buy Pix4D or AG Soft kind of software which can process the data. And they could able to give some results and as a report to the customers. So I could see around 10-15 lakh rupees. If they have 10 lakh rupees, they can start the career. And the best part in drones is today, example in agri, what we see, if someone really want to become an entrepreneur, he just need to give a KYC. So there's a non-collateral loans up to 10 lakh rupees are present, which every bank processes it within 15 to 20 days or less than a month kind of a stuff. Or if you really want to become employment based on your, if you're agri graduate, there are a lot of existing schemes which are providing you access to them, like it's can PMEGP, ACABC. There are a lot of such schemes which are also allowing you to use these drones and get a 30-40% subsidy in that and avail it. But for engineer, what I've seen is the early ITIs, polytechnics are going for a pilot, like how to fly, how to capture, and an engineer kind of a person is not just flying, he's processing them, giving a report, helping the government in different departments, or working with the like real estates, oil and gas, different kind of PSUs, and giving them a little more than just a data capture. Thank you.
Sir, I would just like to clarify your question. Like, is it the usage of drones in civilian sector, or is it any entrepreneurial opportunities for the civilian ITI and diploma graduates?
No, I'm looking at making the diploma holders and even the graduates become an entrepreneur using the drone equipment.
Yes.
Do the surveys
Yeah.
of the land.
So there is definitely an opportunity. Like I will just think out loud. Like going forward, the industrial segment, like construction and transmission lines, and a lot of solar farms are being mapped, and there is a lot of data collection that has to happen. And here there is a lot of dearth of talent, because drones being one of the sunrise, there is a nascent stage sector. So there will be a requirement of around, it was estimated around 3 to 4 lakh of pilots will be required by in next 3 to 4 years. So I have observed this trend in North India, like a lot of diploma and ITI graduation training centers have included drone training as a curriculum, like drone maintenance and drone training as their own curriculum. So these graduates will definitely, there will be a need of workforce of these trainees or trained manpower who can be deployed, or there will be in the future there will be a group of outsource, or there will be workforce management organizations which will supply these pilots, or the co-pilots, we call them in our company. These co-pilots will be deployed on a project basis. Like if Endurer as a company wants to collect some data or do some inspection operations in Dehradun, I don't want to send my own team because I want to keep my cost of operations low. So I'll be taking services from these manpower management companies They will send 50 people for Endurance today, and tomorrow they might send the people for Marut drones. Day after tomorrow they might send for people for Vyomic drones. So this kind of a outsourced manpower, this will be a huge requirement, because all the technology will at one point need some manpower on the ground also to collect the data, or operate. Minimal requirement of workforce will be there, where we're already seeing this trend of usage of like these diploma graduates are now coming to drone companies. There is a lot of like in NCR there are around 50 drone companies, and there is a lot of requirement for these co-pilots and pilots, because earlier there were electrical engineers or computer science engineers or mechanical engineers who are flying the drones. Now the technology has become so mature. Any 10th class graduate also with a proper training facilities, the process has become more smooth, SOPs has become matured, and technology has also, the reliability has increased. The need for complete understanding of autopilot has come down. So you can operate a drone, that is how the technology is getting mature, and there will be more requirement for diploma graduates in this industry rather than engineers.
Yeah.
So before proceeding further, I would like to announce eminent person among us, Commissioner Hydra Ranganath Garu is here. So, sir, would you like to add any perspective of drones as an application to city governance or something like that? It would be good, because there are 6 drone founders here, and the discussion was around how drones can be utilized, what are the opportunities both in military and civil. So there was a lot of discussion that happened in defense, and then we had good discussion on agriculture, and there were some questions which came up on aquaculture. So you being at the helm of affairs of how this land menace and things like that happening, how you see drone technology assisting your department, and what you think our drone founders in the room can support your initiatives.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. I am heading a wing called Hydra, Hyderabad Disaster Response and Asset Protection Agency. Now the main purpose of Hydra, or the objectives for which Hydra has been floated is, one is number one, disaster response or disaster management, and the other part is the asset protection. Asset protection is like you have lots of government lands and lots of parks, lung spaces and layouts, open spaces in layouts, road network and all these are part of the assets. Now the more important part is the disaster management. Now in fact I have come here to know more about how drones can be of help in the disaster management. Of course, we have been, I'm here in Hyderabad, the Disaster Response and Asset Protection Agency for the last more than 9 months. We have been interacting with various drone companies and, we generally fix every Tuesday of a week for technologies. And lot of satellite-based companies, like NRSC and other even private vendors also, many of them, they keep approaching us. And even drone side also, many of them have come. Now I just want to get more enlightened on a few of the aspects, right? One is the disaster management, drone, how drones can be of use in the disaster management. One is, okay, right, as somebody was mentioning, for instance, water bodies encroachment. What could be the extent of encroachment? Yes, you can fly a drone and understand what is the, what morphological changes have come on the ground. Vis-a-vis, reference to some datum, we take some datum, and with respect to that datum, we try to compare and we come to a conclusion that yes, there are some encroachments and all. Now, identifying the encroachments and identifying the structures that have come up recently, on a regular basis. As you keep flying the drones once in a fortnight or could be once in a month or so, and you identify the structures that have come up in the water bodies. No, these all things, this we have been doing it also. A lot of pilot projects are underway now. More importantly, I just want to know, even in rescue operations also, how drones can be of use. Just imagine a situation where there's a swift river, or something like a Musi river, and people are actually struck the other side of the river. They are marooned literally, and you have to bring them to this side. Normally what we use, you use a rope and try to get them and that is the normal practice. So can drones be pitched into this sort of rescue operations? How can be of that also? I just want to just various solutions, right? So this is one, and similarly, of course, when there is total flooding of the area, then naturally, supplies and all medical supplies or food supplies, that also, normally you deploy a drone and that is done. But on a larger scale, how can it be of practical use? When you have to deliver such supplies to thousands of people, then how do you do it? So that is issues now. And of course, the other parts like many of them have been mentioning about drone technology in the disaster management or elsewhere also. These are the general sense. One is the terrain mapping, or you call the DEM or the DTM and all, you do it, right? And with the accuracy of 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, whatever, right? Okay, fine. That is being done, and many are working on it. Apart from this, where else can you be of use for disaster management specific? That is one. And the other one is a mapping of the resources. You have lots of thousands of acres of land where we have actually retrieved, and it's worth lakhs of crores now. At least definitely I think it must be more than 50,000 crores or so. So whatever we have recovered till now, it will run into lakhs of crores in future, right? So now that also mapping, of course, you have to take the lat-long coordinates and try to build a database and all that. We are doing this. How you can be of help in that also, you can just try to enlighten me on this. Yeah, thank you.
I think using drone for evacuation is still a long time to go, sir. As of now, what drones are carrying is about one patient at one time. Now, if you are looking at hybrid drones, which people are doing research and calling drones for transportation from city to airports and that kind of models which are to come, 6-passenger drone has been tested, but it has not yet become commercialized that it is coming into I think that is the time what you are saying, recovering people from a disaster situation. Apart from that, I think most of the other solutions that you are mentioning are already in vogue. How effectively the government would like to engage and what models that come up, because most of the startups, they end up doing a pilot or some kind of engagement with the government. And the startups, as you realize, they are not very cash rich, or so at times payments from government will support them. So, but there are people who are now ready in this room itself who can do 3 centimeter mapping of all the assets that you have recovered. And they can also do a clear analysis on change, what kind of change happened about, they can pull in the information from Google Earth, then detect change, what currently it is there, they can survey and they can exactly pinpoint what things have changed, at what timeline they have changed. So that may be of help, sir.
From Wayanad, the problem statement itself was identifying the bodies. It was very difficult for them. So one thing, they had a handheld lot of devices which can detect bodies and everything, so we could mount them. And in Telangana, we did in Khammam, sir. People were droning, we were giving safety jackets. We were sending with the drones the safety jackets and everything, one aspect. The second, another incident what we tried was the other side of the Mulugu kind of area where it has been full of water. We were getting a lot of messages saying that I have a baby, I need milk, I need some, which is 2 kilometers away, 3 kilometers away. So, yes.
I don't think it can really work with the government, and when the state disaster is of a larger scale, 1 or 2 years.
Sir, actually in Andhra, I will tell you, sir, when floods came in Vijayawada, so overnight they've asked us to bring 20 drones is because they were using helicopters and they were giving all the food and everything. They were getting damaged because it was thrown from a helicopter and everything. So same sir was sitting in a command center and data is linked. So every day we were supplying 200 houses and we were giving in on the terrace of the building. All are in apartments. So around 5,000 households were probed. 10 to 20 kgs, sir. Ration and the food. And we saw the first day where people were coming, people were fighting for the food and everything. Then what we took the decision was we will deliver to the household. So we were delivering the interior parts of the colonies, where helicopters or the boats were not able to go and everything. That was one of the thing where we saw was in disaster you can immediately use till the terrace level, not at a ground. You don't need to ground it, you can release it or you can drop it, kind of mechanism with very low height with the drones. Second, like in like Musi kind of areas where you have other parts. So weather is the biggest challenge at present, sir. Wind is a issue at present.
I'll just add. Varshamlo kuda, as far as the visibility is within the limits, is minimized lesser than a helicopter. Like the biggest issue in disaster relief will be, like you rightly said, downwash, the houses flying off, and all falling in one area. The micro, you get core areas, and from there distributing would be the best in drones, where because the packets which you make are only about 10 to 20, 15 kgs. Yes, and no, even individual houses also, because the small packets you make are very less. They are max of 5 or 10 of them together in 50 kgs. You keep dropping in different places. Their capacity to stay in a place without disturbing the environment is much higher than this one, and continuous monitoring over a location.
And under panic అయిపోతున్నారు sir ఆ time లో.
Last thing is location transmitters. You find someone going, you can always drop a location transmitter before you go. So.
On sir.
Can we really do something? I mean, suppose the rain doesn't stop immediately, right? But is presuming it's a cyclone or some heavy rains at all, right? So rain keeps continuing. What can be done with the drone?
Their weather is still lower than the flying.
అంటే సార్ మేమేం చేస్తున్నారంటే సార్ డైలీ వర్షం పడుతున్నా కూడా కొన్ని అవర్స్ ఆగుతుంది కదా సార్, సిజిలింగ్ వర్క్ ఉంది కదా, ఆ టైంలో ఇమ్మీడియట్గా ర్యాపిడ్గా చేయడానికి కోసము మాకేమొచ్చిందంటే వాట్సాప్లో వాళ్ళ లొకేషన్ వచ్చేది సార్. సో వీ యూస్ టు టేక్ ద ల్యాట్ లాంగ్స్ అండ్ వీ యూస్ టు ఐడెంటిఫై ద హౌస్ హోల్డ్ అండ్ వీ యూస్ టు సెండ్ 10 like there are 20 like people 20 households in that one apartment. So we know that okay, we just gave a WhatsApp number. So the government gave it. So we were getting a lot of locations. And they were saying this many people and everything. So we were sending food packets and everything. That minimalized a lot of panicness in the people and having this basic ration and water and food. So second was on when people are like because of flood and everything, like sending any safety equipments like jacket or some where you know clearly that someone is going away and you need to send fastly. You can't send a person. Yes sir. We can do it sir. Heavy row. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఏంటంటే ఒక 50 to 100 kgs వరకు కూడా పాసిబుల్ సార్. లైక్ 100 kgs వరకు కూడా పాసిబుల్. మీకు 10-20 kgs అని అంటే మీరు వాళ్ళు అడిగితే రేపు పొద్దు నుంచి వచ్చేస్తాయి. లైక్ హౌ మెనీ డ్రోన్స్ యూ నీడ్. సో వీ కుడ్ సీ అరౌండ్ 200 drones were without any, like there was disaster, right? So like a lot of people came forward. Around 200 drones were operating in that region. That swiftly they were able to do it. And lot of pre-analysis, a lot of people were able to do that, like and the flood analysis point of view చేస్తారు. సో మేజర్లీ ప్రతిసారి ఏదైనా ఇన్సిడెంట్ అయినప్పుడు యూజ్ చేయడం కన్నా కూడా ప్రివెంటివ్ వేలో ఇఫ్ చేస్తే బాగుంటుంది సార్. సెకండ్ ఇంకా మేము అబ్జర్వ్ చేసింది ఏంటంటే సార్, ఆఫీసర్స్ అందరు ఎఫర్ట్ ఏంటంటే అడాప్ట్ చేయాలి అని, కానీ అది డిజిటల్ ఫార్మాట్లో ఉండకపోవడం కారణంగా ఏమవుతుందనంటే మంచి డిజిటైజ్ చేయకపోవడం ప్రాబ్లం. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం ఇప్పుడు అసెట్స్ ఇప్పుడు లేక్సే ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్, లేక్స్ మనకి ఎన్ఆర్ఐసి ఉంది. ఎన్ఆర్ఐసి హ్యాస్ 50 years of all the maps data with us and we have present at least 1 centimeter 3 centimeter level of lakes ఉంది కాబట్టి we clearly know 15 years back 10 years back present all within a click you can see. You don't need to ask someone and everything, where that becomes evidential proof for the courts also to understand how the changes were happening and everything, and you're getting this data from NRSC, not from private kind of a people and everything. సో అలాంటివి అడాప్ట్ చేయడం వల్ల ఏంటంటే ఆఫీసర్స్ చేంజ్ అయినా కూడా దట్ విల్ కంటిన్యూ. ఇప్పుడు చాలా మంచి ఎఫర్ట్ పెడతారు సార్, చాలా ఆఫీసర్స్తో వర్క్ చేస్తాం కదా, నెక్స్ట్ ట్రాన్సిషన్లో అది క్యారీ ఫార్వర్డ్ అవ్వడం కానీ అంత డెప్త్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉండడం కానీ కుదరట్లేదు. కాబట్టి ఆ డిజిటైజేషన్ వేర్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎ GIS అండ్ డ్రోన్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ అయ్యి మీరు సీసీటీవీస్ పెడుతున్నారు కదా సార్ లేక్స్లో, అవి ఇంటిగ్రేట్ అవుతే ఆటోమేటిక్గా మనకి ఇంకొకటి అవసరమే లేదు. సో ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఆల్రెడీ చేసే ఎఫర్ట్ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తే చాలు సార్. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు సైలోస్లో పనిచేస్తున్నారు. యు ఆర్ గెటింగ్ సమ్ డేటా ఫ్రమ్ వన్ ప్రొవైడర్, వన్ డేటా ఫ్రమ్ అనదర్ ప్రొవైడర్. ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ బ్రింగ్ ఎవ్రీబడి టు వన్, then lot of things can be simplified for use.
Thank you so much. I think I need to conclude.
Sir, just I would like to add one point here.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how it is relevant to. Sorry. Yeah. I would like to, I don't know how much it is relevant to the urban infrastructure, but we as an Endurer, by the way, sir, Endurer is a IIT Kanpur a drone startup. So we have been closely working with NDRF for almost 3 years. Right from the Chamoli incident happened in 2021, the cloudburst incident happened in Joshimath. So I was personally deployed under the guidance of PMO office to see the drone relief operations. We were deployed drones for carrying the water pack bottles across the river where the main dam and bridges has been broken. And then our payload capacity was 10 kg. Right now, as an industry, our capability has increased up to 70 to 100 kilos also per one sortie. We can carry 70 to 100 kilos to a range of 5 to 6 kilometers. And also one more application which was very clearly brought out at that point is like, because that was a asset damage assessment is very critical there, because the trucks and the cranes were supposed to go inside the tunnel to remove that malba, and also that there was a lot of bodies that there was a lot of potential workers of dam workers were stuck inside that. So we use these nano drones to do the damage assessment and also the air cavity search inside these tunnels. And especially recently the Uttarkashi tunnel rescue operation was happened. Again, we have deployed our nano drones to identify the air cavities. Yes. So there was a lot of search for these air cavities inside the tunnel, and also there was a lot of loosely formed structural members in the caves. So that because NDRF Jawans were not directed to go inside without having a proper understanding of the structural integrity of the whole rocks. So we sent these nano drones over the cliff of this pile of rocks, and we gave them the directions and whether there is a possibility of air cavity or not. Unfortunately, we didn't find any air cavity. Then the steel pipe of 10 centimeter has went in to supply the oxygen and all. So these nano drones can also be used to do the assessment of the structure. And also same has been pilot project has been done with the railways, because a lot of railways there are few railway accidents happened in last 12 months. So we are working with CSIR, and because any of these QRT wagons has to be integrated with the tethered drones and also nano drones, so that these drones can enter the wagon and through window or emergency windows, so that they can do the assessment of the whole structure without, because there is a cutting and there is a lot of work that has to happen. Before that, these drones can do the preliminary assessments of the structures. And in terms of fire accidents also, you can send these birds. In high-rise buildings, it's been a big issue lately. The ACs and also this being burnt out. So you can send this drone without any creating additional harm to the office, the Jawans or the fire workers. So that is where these nano drones can also be used in this assessment, sir.
అంటే మనకి స్వప్నంలో లాంటి కాంప్లెక్స్లో ఎస్ సార్ ఎస్ సార్ స్వప్నంలో లాంటి కాంప్లెక్స్లో ఫైర్ యాక్సిడెంట్ అయింది కదా సార్. సో ఆర్ ఇఫ్ ఎనీ హై రైస్ బిల్డింగ్స్ లైక్ నౌ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ హైటెక్ సిటీస్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, పొగ వల్ల చాలామంది చనిపోతున్నారు కదా సార్ అంతా. సో అప్పుడు మనకి ఎక్కడ డైరెక్షన్లో తెలియట్లేదు కాబట్టి ఫ్యూ ప్లేసెస్లో మమ్మల్ని ఎంబడే అడుగుతారు, మన డ్రోన్ పంపిస్తాము చేస్తాము అట్లా. కానీ యాక్చువల్లీ డిజాస్టర్ రెస్పాన్స్ వింగ్ ఆల్రెడీ ఉంటే అది ఐ థింక్ ది ఆపరేషన్స్ కెన్ బి టైం తగ్గించగలుగుతాం. సో అది ఐ థింక్ ఇట్స్ అది నార్మల్ డ్రోన్స్ మన వాళ్ళు నేర్చుకొని వాళ్ళంతా వాళ్ళు ఆపరేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు సార్ చాలా ఈజీగా. సో అది ఒక చిన్న అడిషన్ వల్ల కూడా చాలా డిఫరెన్స్ వస్తుంది సార్.
Thank you so much. Now I have to conclude. I request all the panelists to please join to be here to discuss about drones, and I hope you carry home some good lessons. And there are some questions which have come up on aquaculture and for disaster relief. I hope you will all make some good pitch to the commissioner himself and to the industry. You have problems to solve and miles to go. Good luck. Jai Hind.
I'll request the panelists to accept token of remembrance on behalf of IKON. For this, first I'll request Air Marshal Chandrasekhar Garu to... to Kaljera Mummadi. Thank you, sir. I'll request Sri Rangizet Mangababu Garu to honor Lieutenant Colonel Narendra Tripathi for that master class. I'll request Sri Rangnath Garu to honor Mr. Madhireddy Hanuma Ravi Teja. I'll request Dr. C.S. Rao Garu to honor Ms. Janaki Pulaparthi. I'll request Mejal Dayal to kindly come up here and honor Mr. Mendu Ramakrishna. Last but not the least, I'll request Dr. Vaddi Satyanarayana to honor Sri Prem Kumar Vishlavat. I'll request Colonel Jairam Mumadi to honor. Shri N. Mohan Krishna, founder J Robotics. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much. May I request you all to proceed for tea at the nominated places. After that, we'll